pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have received the minutes of the last meeting. What are your wishes?
Approval.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Jeff. you're up.
First on the agenda is Cody Albers 5-year service award, October 19th, 2020. He was hired as part-time seasonal help and he became full-time in January 21. But today is, or the 19th was his 5-year award. I told him he had to give a speech, so.
And I have nothing. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks for your efforts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
You're taking good care of Jeff's truck.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
Didn't leave anything that you can use as dirt on it.
Nope. Very clean guy.
We appreciate your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Cody. Good luck.
All right.
Next on the agenda is a pup trailer. So in the spring, we received quotes for 2 pup trailers. We received them. Calling back to Brady Truck Equipment, seeing about getting a new quote. He said that he would hold his exact same price as in the spring. We are in need of another pup trailer. I know one that's in full-time use this spring decided to break and broke and stood up on it as it was dumping rock. And yeah, we'd like to get one of those replaced. We currently have 6 and 4 are full-time use ones. In our overall rock haul this year, we are 3 weeks ahead of last year's schedule. And I believe that is one of the contributing factors, besides the stockpile, was having 2 additional pup trailers that some guys could hop on when there was some rain days to help deliver rock. And we would like to replace one of those spare ones.
Get rid of one then?
Yes, we don't need any more than 6.
Yeah. What's availability on soon can be?
We can have it by next spring.
Do you sell it, trade it in?
We'll just sell it outright. There's not much of a resale. I was looking up online, we might get $5,000 or $7,000 on a used one. But it could probably go to a really good home here and to some farmer in Grundy County who wants to haul their own rock or something.
Is there a motion to approve the purchase of the 2025 pup trailer?
So move.
Second. And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We've also been in part of our annual budget. We included a pickup. I went out took this to bid with Rydell and Rouse Motors. We got 2 3/4 ton pickups. As you see there, the price difference was $1,882.20.
Is it a regular cab or?
It is a crew cab. Silverado 2500 HD LT and a Dodge Ram 2500 Laramie.
Are you replacing something?
Right now, we are short a vehicle. We are currently using the auditor's car for Gary is using that to go around and work the wind turbines. And here November, all the pickups will be going back to their respective sheds. So we will need another vehicle. Eventually, I hope to get rid of one, but right now we're short a vehicle. So we'll see where we're at if we trade one off or sell one outright.
I didn't know if it was replacing the tonner or what, everything.
Well, so this one, we kind of needed something, I figured we need something in our fleet that's a little newer, that can haul a pipe trailer. Maybe possibly do a future spray truck. You know, put a skid in the back and take our big spray truck and bring it down to a smaller, more reasonable size. Our current one's very nice. It's just maybe a little more high power than we actually need, but it's getting up there in age, and having a larger truck than a 1/2 ton around the county, it would be nice to have.
What's availability of either one of these?
I did not ask that question, but I'm assuming 6 months is the last time we purchased one.
You already budgeted for this then? right?
Yes, this is in our budget.
Sorry.
You know. Thought I was the only one.
With with the purchase of the used motor grader, there's room for that pup trailer. The pup trailer was not in our budget, but there is room. There's still room for the remainder. I shouldn't say remainder, but unallocated. So we do not have to go with the lowest bid, but that's up to you guys.
Personally, my thoughts are if we have a dealership in Grundy County, we should at least entertain the idea of purchasing local and keeping the money in the county.
Correct.
I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are, whether it's all dollars and cents or whether it's support our local business. I'm not trying to make a pitch, or I'm just throwing it out there to see what everybody else says.
Yeah, it's not the first time, you know, we went to union backups too.
Right.
For the town, so it go either way.
Well, I agree with what you're
I do too.
stated. I think the last time there was price differential over $5,000.
Yes, last time there was.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot closer.
I'd almost be tempted to stay with Marty.
Okay.
Is that a motion to that?
You wanna put me right on the spot? Yes, that is a motion to that effect.
Well, you know, Erin's also in the room, so you know something's gonna happen.
No, she doesn't like things. That is a
Okay,
motion.
we have
Accept the
motion.
bid of Rouse Motors.
All right, we have a motion for that. Is there a
Second.
Second, okay, all those in favor of accepting the Rouse Motor bid for the 3/4 ton pickup? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
You know, that 4455 you had was a higher bid than the international. That they bid. The one that you have on the board. My mom was on the board, they bought that. It was higher, but it was a John Deere and Phelps was in good shape and Turner's wasn't. Oh. Your dad was right on board too. It was a John Deere.
Blackhawk County getting some trouble with buying the Volvo motor graders or something like that.
It comes up every once in a while versus John Deere.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel very comfortable in accepting this bid.
yep, I think, and I. Last time it was a
Yeah.
significant price difference, but this time it seems to be very reasonably close.
I didn't know if it would make sense to go talk to Marty and see if he would match the bid, but it's been decided, so.
And
The next on the agenda is an agreement between Grundy County and the Public Professionals and Secondary Maintenance Employees Local 2003. So, part of our current secondary road contract states that employees are to use vacation and sick leave with 1 hour increments. Our personnel policy handbook says 15 minutes. I would like to sign a supplemental agreement because I don't feel like we wanna wait 2 years for this to come back up. What we have is people like employees, going here to Grundy Hospital, taking 15 minutes and coming back. And then having to use an hour sick leave or an hour vacation. And so they'll wait for their vacation to come use up and then go back to work. Where I feel like we can get people back to work sooner.
And that's also in line with the county
It is with our current personnel policy.
policy.
And so that's what this states is that we're not gonna go by the 1 hour, we're gonna go by the county personnel policy. And I think this would be best for everyone.
Since that's what's already been, I mean, as far as time sheets and things like that. it would
Yeah.
make a whole big difference. Or not, a lot more work on that end. Any other questions, or would anyone care to make a motion to approve this agreement?
I'll make that motion to approve.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
This week in general news, after tomorrow, both excavators will be starting to brush cut. Sorry, words are. We got word from the DOT that middle of November, they're planning on the Highway 14 bridges both being open. Seeding is currently going on. Hydro seeding with our own crews.
Do you have a lot of that to do?
We do have quite a bit to do. Wondered. So hopefully we can get that done. Or ground freezes, but should be able to get a good establishment before winter sets in. If it's not, it's dormant seeding and wait till spring.
They hydro seeded those acreages on Pioneer Road the other day, and then got a nice shower right after that. That should be ideal.
Should be. Any other questions?
Anything else we'll chat this one?
I know.
Okay. Thank you much.
The next item on the agenda is to consider for approval of payment of bills. You have seen a copy of the bills. Are there any questions? I would take a motion to pay the bills. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
Any opposed? The next item is to consider for approval, the resolution number 16, 2025-2026. Reappointment of Robert Johannes to the Civil Service Commission. I heard he is agreeable to that appointment.
I'll make that.
Motion to introduce. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Alan, would you call the roll, please?
Jeff. Yes. LJ.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
And Height.
Yes. The employee benefit system group renewal has been passed around. And flexible benefits plan. Need to consider for approval, authorizing me to sign that agreement. Is there anything you need to add to that, Alan?
Or really just some IRS changes there. Looks like they've allowed a little bit higher amount in the flex account also for dependent care.
Are there any other questions about the agreement?
Chairperson sign the document.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The next item is discussion and possible action on signing system navigation location agreement. This.
You're gonna explain it all.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, okay, so it appears that it's between our overarching ASO which is an acronym that I'm not totally comfortable and familiar with, but Heidi can
Uh,
advise us.
yeah, something service organization, and right now that also is escaping me, but it's for the behavioral health.
Isn't it basically like the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services has now taken that power away from the counties and delegated and gone
Right.
into a contract with another third party to?
They have
Oversee.
moved from regions to districts, districts to regions. I always get those confused, I will admit. They put out an RFP for the behavioral health, and that went to one provider, Iowa Primary Care Association. They will be the provider. At this time, they recommend, if you need them, to call Your Life Iowa. And that is how you get a hold of people. This began July 1st. It is now October. Putting people in place to assist those wishing to navigate the behavioral health system. They would be interested in having a person in Grundy County. I believe it would be maybe a day a week. It would not be full-time, but it would be a day or two. And we do have the offices in the annex building. And so this is what that agreement is with. So the system navigator is a person from Iowa PCA.
Okay, so this agreement is between the ASO and the provider, which is apparently the entity that owns the facilities that the ASO will use with the navigator on a shared basis with the facilities. So it's a facilities use agreement that does follow our key policy, so it does that, but it basically provides that rent is pretty minimal until June, and then it minimally goes up for a full year because we are several months into this fiscal year. It's annually renewable unless there's a default, unless the law changes, unless somebody gives the other party 90 days written notice, which is pretty customary. And it's, I mean, it covers the things that we would need it to cover as far as they're getting the key from the sheriff's office, they're not keeping a key every day back and forth. So that's part of our security policy. We have to provide them access to emergency management kind of communications. I assumed that contact would be Chase. We have to provide them with policies for infection control and all that kind of stuff. I assumed our contact there would be Katie. So it's basically that. There's really no statement as to which office. We provide electricity so that they can run their computers and charge their cell phone. But there's really nothing else except for that insurance portion is what kind of confused me, because it's requiring that there be $1 million total, 500,000 per incident. No, $1 million per occurrence and 3 million aggregate. General liability, professional liability, and property damage. I don't know why we would provide that. We insure the building.
Right.
If somebody's getting hurt coming into the office, that is, definitely on the county, but if they're inside the office and they're hurt because of negligence of the tenant, that's on them. We've got. So that, I find that provision confusing. I would want some more information, I guess, as to what exactly they're doing for why they're requiring that specific thing. That doesn't seem like something that we would generally do. That's usually on the tenant, not the landlord. So I would want some more information on that.
We did have a meeting, a week ago, and they had a lot of questions. I mean, they were very willing to, have a lot of questions, but,
Mhm.
and were very thorough. Down to, they asked if there was a county, like a dress code and.
Yes, they have a dress code provision in here.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions. I was kind of surprised by all of them. And Katie was able to answer a lot just being in the building.
Mhm.
Like they wanted to know if they needed to do any extra training and, Chase would be willing to meet with them, just so that they're aware of anything that we have, I think as far as policy guidelines within the county. But if you have questions, I know that they would be very willing to have some back and forth.
So if you could give me that contact information, I'd like to ask about that, and then maybe we could, might consider putting this on the agenda for next week.
I think so, yeah.
And then I could certainly ask any other questions that, any of you, has after reviewing it this weekend or later this week. It's fairly short, but yeah.
So, yeah, I think too, it would be, and I think that was kind of the plan would be, they knew that we would have some things that we would like to make sure we're addressed. And so this is kind of their draft copy of an agreement.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that would be anticipating questions. I would see no problem with that. But it would allow us to have people in the county. I think they would be thinking of perhaps starting November 1st. And the community partners meeting last week, I believe there was a person there, I missed the introductions, but I think she would be the person who would possibly be coming in. She was just a little person himself.
Yeah.
So
Would you like a motion to table action?
I would like a motion, yes, that would be good. Okay, we have a motion to table till next week. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Erica.
Sure, thank you.
Next item is to accept the Grundy County Treasurer's Annual Report. It's passed around. There's your motion for acceptance.
Make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any board or committee meetings this week? Nothing. Big community partners, which is just a group of entities that meet, Katie and Jordan facilitate the meeting. Unfortunately, last week, a lot of us were virtual. And they had a demonstration by Chase with the virtual reality fire extinguisher. Which is pretty amazing, actually. So they did do that. And the wellness committee met Friday morning, and there will be some changes that we may be bringing to the board at a later date. Otherwise, Butch, you got anything for us this morning?
The asphalt guys just showed up. They should be laying that today. Yeah, so I had to have Cooley come in and haul the rock out for Nick
Yeah,
Russ.
Nick, got that. Okay. So that's. How much was there? You said you weren't sure.
Six, I'd say closer to 7 loads probably.
Wow. I'm sure you found a place for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Figures might as well go to someone else in the county and be used, so he can use it for his parking and driveways and stuff, so.
Yeah. How long will they be at that?
Today, they should be, he told me last week he was gonna do it, and it started raining in the morning, and started rolling it. And he goes, I would just soon let it dry out over the weekend. He goes, that way we know it adheres to the rock below, and so he wanted to wait over the weekend, and get that done and he's thinking a day, cause he thought that day they'd go in and mill it out, which they did. They had that done within hours. And then he thought they were gonna lay it the next day and be done, but, so yeah, hopefully today, but he said probably, he goes, you could probably drive on it the next day, but I think I'll just still keep it closed for a day or so, just to.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions for Rich?
I think the trees on this courthouse square look quite nice, you know.
Yeah, there's,
Concern over the years when we took down some of those older, larger trees, but I think this grounds is starting to develop and look pretty nice.
yeah, I mean, there's some of the trees, like, and you can tell usually like the wind we had the last 2 days. There's some dead stuff up in them, but
Sure.
I think if I keep on top of it with trees or whoever to get up here and trim them out during, you know, in the winter time, once it gets hard. Usually, like, cause last time what I had him do is he came up here about this time, took pictures of it,
Hmm.
so he could see which limbs were dead, and then when he went up there, he trimmed out the dead stuff in the winter time since it was hard and he could drive on along. I mean, I think that's been
Great
working
idea.
out
Yeah.
well. But yeah,
Yeah, that's too, since I started to change this morning,
I
yeah.
thought it looked really sharp
Yes.
this morning,
Mhm.
really did.
one thing I think we will have to do, and you guys have a chance, maybe walk out by those carvings.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those stumps are really, really bad. And when I talked to him, he hasn't came up here, the guy who does them, at Keenan. But he said one option you do have is to put them on something. And then I asked him about it and he's like, yeah, you can pour a pad and then maybe just put like an air gap underneath it so the air can get through it and doesn't rot it out. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're gonna have to do. Is probably pour some pads and put something, just enough air gaps so the air can get underneath there, just so it doesn't rot, so it just dries it out. And but this one out here, surprisingly, is worse than those over here, and I assume it's because it sits down on the ground. Like there's a stump, but it's sitting right down where these other two are in rock up top, and like those are other things that I think I'm gonna have to address in the next couple of years anyway with those retaining walls around there, because you can tell they're starting to spread and lean, and yeah, but and I would assume it's probably from the roots and everything else that are still in there from those tree stumps and.
Super. Keep on top of that thing.
Yeah, Natalie over there asked me again about Bernie's thing, if
Yeah,
I'm gonna get together on that again and get it done, or.
Chad, and I talked to Chad and Stacy, and I think they were working on drawing something up, cause I wanna move, get them off that hill.
Yeah.
Because right now on the hill, when I mow around them, it tears up the grass. When I turn around them, there's no way to go around, I mean, they're the round deals and they're right on a hill. But when you go to turn and mow around them, it just kills the grass on the sides of them. This one down here isn't as bad, but I think if we did anything, if we either moved it up, or Chad even suggested cutting that hill down a little bit more and then building the front up of those berms. But I mean, that'll have to be something that, to me, Natalie will have to decide or whatever on,
She just asked me what your plans were, so.
yeah.
Alright. Anything else? Alan, election, how's it going? Where we at?
So far, so good. I think we're. I processed an absentee request the other day in the office and we were at 94. Total, so they're kind of coming in slowly. We did get quite a few absentee requests for mail ballots today. Roughly 7 to 10, but today's the last day they can have those in. They need to be in by 4 o'clock, so I might even double check with the post office towards the end of the day to see if they've got anything else.
Equipment is being, I guess, in process. Where are we at with?
Testing, we did, kind of like our pre-run. Everything seemed to be functioning fine, and she did have some issues with with, something, I think we're, ES&S is supposed to be out this week to help with that,
Okay.
but it wasn't main tabulators, it was, I think one of the express votes or something. I have to get with her again, but yeah, there's something that they had to address. It wasn't, was it that? Hey, Angie,
Yeah.
you available? I don't remember. I think she was having trouble even with some of those express vote things actually running through the tabulators,
Oh.
which is not normal. What was the issue that we have to have ES&S come out?
Our absentee machines are having some issues, so we have the express vote that we should be able to take to any location if their express vote breaks or it's non-functional. When I went in to do the testing on that one, it's listing everything as ballot styles, like ballot style 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which wouldn't be helpful to a polling location when there's 17 ballot styles. It should be reading like BCLUW, BC Conrad, BC Beeman, so on and so forth, so that they can choose the right ballot style if they use it to vote. Then when I went to take the express votes that I had already done, with the exception of that one machine, to our spare and absentee DS200s, those ballots wouldn't work. They just kicked them back out. And they should be able to read anything, because if we had to take that spare machine, just like the DS200, out to a polling location, if someone used the DS200, or used the express vote, they should be able to put that ballot in there and it's kicking them back out. So I think they're coding issues. I don't think they need to send anybody out, but they haven't called me back yet. This was late Friday afternoon after 3 o'clock. So I'm confident that we'll get it handled, but we're having some issues right now.
That's why you do this before?
Yeah, that's why we do it before.
Spend all that time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Poll workers, all secure, I'm sure.
Yeah, we had one cancel last week, but I was able to find someone to fill it in, so that was good. We have training on the 29th and 30th for our poll workers. It'll be 2 sessions, of 15 poll workers each. And we're using we're gonna try some different training. Training's been the same all my 9 years. So we're gonna use, the Secretary of State has a really nice PowerPoint. It was 169 slides, which I felt like was excessive, so I was able to take out a lot of slides. But we're gonna use that PowerPoint to train the poll workers, and a lot of the stuff that he had prepared was what we already talked about. But I think the poll workers might like this new,
Different change.
just a different change for that, so I think that'll be good. We'll see how it goes, see how fast it is, if it takes a lot longer, or if it's better. But we have so many seasoned poll workers, I feel like they kind of need a change up in training too. So, and we're focusing a little bit more on things that we're having trouble with, instead of focusing on just the regular, oh, this is this envelope and this is that envelope. Where they have trouble at the end of the night with their tally lists and things like that. So Angela made a PowerPoint of just on how to do the tally list at the end of the night. And we're really gonna focus on that, because that comes back to us and needs to be correct, and lots of times it's not. So just little things here and there, not big things, but they need to know for sure that they're balanced and all of that kind of stuff, so.
Any other questions for Angie about that? Questions in there?
I've got kind of a little sheet here, with some stuff that's going on, if you guys are interested. You interested?
Absolutely.
I think Alan might have talked about absentee ballots by mail, but those requests need to be in our office today if people want it mailed to them at home. So we had a lot of people calling on Thursday and Friday, wanting us to mail them a request. But we told them, you've got to have it in our office by Monday, so you can print one off from the Secretary of State's website, or stop in and fill out a request, or vote in our office, or whatever. It's just, they've kind of shortened that time for people to get out there and do it, and it makes it hard when some people just hear about it midway through. That's kind of short timing, so. Yeah, and I think Alan talked about this too, but, voting in our office started on Wednesday and continues through Monday, November 3rd. And this morning we're at 107. So we've had 3 voters already this morning. So that's, they're coming in, and not necessarily, just the places with the school bonds. This morning there were 2 Grundy Center voters, so, that's interesting.
we did see the notice of election was in the paper.
Yes.
I did a short little interview with Chuck there, so some of that stuff is getting out on air as well, so I think
Yeah.
that's kind of bringing the attention to.
The notice election was big, but it's the only way we can put it out there without putting out 17 ballots in the paper. So, healthcare facility deliveries will be next week. So we send a team that assists the voters in the healthcare facilities. We go to the healthcare facilities. Whoever requests 2 or more of their residents that need help, we'll send a team there. So they go, and help each voter vote, get their stuff put in the envelope, all of those kinds of things. And then, if there are people on the premises that haven't sent in an absentee ballot request but want to vote, they're still able to vote that day. They'll help them vote as well. So sometimes it draws a little crowd, depending on how they do it. If they have the residents that have, if they have them out in the room or whatever. So, yeah, we're available to help those people. So we've got,
Who actually goes to the residences?
we don't have that figured out yet.
But it'd be poll workers.
Yeah, 2 poll workers.
Yeah.
One of the ladies that's going has done it before, and then another lady broke her hip, so she can't go. So I'm gonna have a new person, but that'll be good as well.
Okay.
We've been working on the test ballots, like Alan said. It's been a little slow going. But like we said, we have those 3 machines that we need some coding issues. It could affect other machines. If they have to send us new sticks, sometimes then, they all have to work together. So that could cause some more issues, but we'll see what happens when the time comes. Training for the poll workers, I said already. Public testing of the equipment is on October 31st at 9 AM. It'll take about 2 hours. It's over at the annex in the election room. If you're interested, feel free to stop by, even if it's just for a few minutes. It is an interesting process, especially when there are 17 ballot styles. But if you're in the area and you want to pop by between 9 and 10:30,
And
we'll
that
be
is
there.
open for the public too.
It's open for the public. It's published in that public notice. We have had 1 or 2 people come before. Barb Smith came before she retired, and she was just blown away, I think, about the process. So, if you want to come, then that's fine. Delivery of voting equipment will be in the morning of November 3rd. We take the emergency management truck and trailer. Jesse and Chase will take care of the cages. Sometimes I help, but I don't really help. The cages themselves weigh 350 pounds. And then you put in all the machines, the computers and the supplies, and they're pretty heavy to get up that ramp. But the boys do a really good job, and we couldn't do it without them, so it's good.
And the cages are, we've had them now just a couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's been since right after COVID, because that was some COVID money that we got for election security and stuff, and so it's been a couple of years at least. Yeah, seems like a lot. They really take up a lot of space in my room over there, but we figure it out. Election days, obviously on November 4th, the polls are open from 7 AM to 8 PM. If you get to a polling location, please thank each of the poll workers for their service. It is a 15 to 16 hour day, and they don't get to leave. So just thank them for their service. They're all really great people. We've got a great crew, so we're lucky. The absentee board will meet at 9 AM on election day to count the absentee ballots. This is a new law they made. So they have to start at 9. Everyone in the state has to start at 9. I think some people weren't getting their ballots counted on time for reporting at the end of the night. So now they're forcing people to come in at 9 AM. To make sure the process is finished. So they'll come in and count our 100 or 200 ballots, whatever we've got by that point. Go home and then have to come back at 7:30 at night to finish the process. So, cause we have to leave the machine open until 8 in case someone drops off their absentee ballot. So that's kind of frustrating, having them come and then go back. Usually that happens on a really big election. We're worried about getting finished. We might call them in earlier in the morning. But you know, this might be an hour in the morning and then they'll have to come back at night for 45 minutes, but they're very good about it. So that's good.
How many people are involved in that?
For an election this size, we'll have 4 people. Yep. So someone, I mean, we have to have that many because when you do that, someone opens the envelope, which has the voter's name on it. Then they pass it to the next person who takes the ballot out. And then they pass the ballot to the next person to go into the machine or whatever. So no one sees the name and the ballot at the same time. So that's kind of how that process goes. So you have to have that many people to complete the process. Hopefully you've been seeing our Facebook posts and sharing them. If you haven't, maybe go back to the Grundy page and share, especially the notice of election. If you haven't, I think maybe you shared it, Heidi. But that really, we need to get that out to the community so they know what's on the ballot. And I know that you're a big Facebook person, Mark.
Right.
I had a couple other things. You guys got your t-shirts today.
Yes, thank you.
So people are wearing those. It's fun to see. We had over $750 in orders, so that was good. The shipping took a very long time. There was a lot of hiccups, so they ended up not charging us shipping at all.
Oh.
So that was really exciting. But yeah, so they've all been turned out. I had them all sitting out, sent out an email, and they all ran up like little raccoons at a trash can. They were all so excited. So, and then we ordered some pins for our poll workers. I'm gonna hand them out to you guys. They turned out just gorgeous. I really thought they were gonna be like a picture of our logo with some clear cover on it, and they're super detailed and just really nice. So I'll give you guys each one of those. Do you have any other questions about the election? It's going okay. I mean, it's going good, but we still have a lot of things that have to fall into place as far as the computers, training, you know, we hope that when they get there that day that everything runs smoothly. But we've got a lot to do in the next couple of weeks.
Because you'll continuously be testing until.
Yeah, I think especially with these issues, the testing could really be an issue. And just to test the ballots that we have, it took Angela and I 2 hours. So that's 4 hours of work. We've done it twice. So that's a whole day that we've missed working on other things or whatever. So but we have to make sure the machines are working correctly. So I'll do whatever I need to do to get that done.
Was it hard to find poll workers?
This election, I needed about 1 less poll worker than I did for the general election. So 5 and 4 for Holland and Wellsburg, and 5 for all the other locations. It went well. We used to have a lot of problems in Dyke, but I've found some new people in Dyke. Sadly, 2 of our poll workers moved to Minnesota that were so good on the computers. And then I had a guy from Grundy, who also moved to Marshalltown. So we lost 3 really good poll workers. And I also had Lois Hartman retired. So she had been working for us for a long time. So we lost a good amount of poll workers this year, but we're gonna be okay. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's lots of phone calls. When you're trying to find 30 people, you probably call 50, 60 people. And then you call them back. I call them back if they don't answer my voice messages. They'll be like, and they know how fast I want them to call back too. They know that I expect them to call me back like the next morning. If not, they're gonna get another phone call. I have no patience. I just wanna get it done when it's that time, so.
Are you required to be open on Saturday for voting?
We are not for this one.
Not this one?
We
Okay.
could be, but we decided not to.
Okay,
Yeah, it was you either do it or you don't
okay,
for this one, just not required.
all right.
Yeah, some counties are gonna be open on Saturday, but we didn't think it was necessary.
Okay.
It's not like people are rolling in like crazy and we can't keep up with them or anything like that, so I think we'll be okay.
It's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for the update.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the extra work.
There's a lot of stuff going on, so. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay. We'll see in 2 weeks.
I'll ask you again next week. We'll
Yes.
See how that's,
See how everything's going then, let me give you these pins. You can look at this one, but you can leave it there.
is there
If you look at them really close, they're just very.
anything else to come before the board this morning? Otherwise, I would take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second? All right, all in favor?
Cool, Andrew. Hi.
Yeah, they turned out so good, all
We
the
already
great
did.
stuff and
Yeah.
Yeah,
stuff.
that's really nice.